About fiberization, they say that 5G requires a lot of fiberization. We have only 30% in the country. What have you all done to streamline that process so that things move quickly?
So that's the Prime Minister's Gati Shakti framework, in which all the infrastructure has to be planned in an integrated way. So all the states in the country have today joined PM Gati Shakti portal, in which permissions for laying fiber has become very, very simple. Now we are working with all the agencies, which is your highway or railway or the transmission line, power department. We are working with them to reduce the cost of laying fiber, right? Third, now we are nudging the other ministries like the highway ministry, the railway ministry, and in the transmission lines, wherever there is a linear infrastructure, why can't we have a public duct along a railway line, along the highway, so that anybody who wants to lay a fiber can use that duct and set it up very quickly. So these steps are work in progress.
And I have finally two questions. One is, of course, the fact that many countries have said spectrum is a public good. We shouldn't be pricing it too high. Do you think India has priced it too high, or what is the reasons we are pricing us in the manner that we did? What went behind the thinking?
So we do have a very evolved model for how the spectrum price should be, based on pure economics. And see, Indian market is a very large market, right? The number of subscribers is huge. So even if the price per unit is low, multiplied that by the number of subscribers, it gives a very high revenue level. Based on this understanding, I think our spectrum pricing is very adequate. And of course, I agree with you that there is definitely an element of public good. Post-COVID world is very different from the pre-COVID world. Pre-COVID world, digital was a part of life, but a very insignificant part of life. Today, it is integral to our life. So there are countries which have made spectrum free of cost today. There are countries which have made spectrum cost practically very, very minuscule. We in our country, with our realities and our setup, economic, legal, technical, all kind of things put together, I think we have put a very reasonable number.
It was not that the ghost of 2G scam was haunting you all, and you all were worried about the fact that you all will be accused of selling the spectrum cheaply, as it happened in the previous governments.
Absolutely not. We, in Prime Minister Modi ji's government, the clarity on policy is very much there. Very clearly we know our goal is to serve the last person in the society. Antyodaya is the fundamental thing in the inclusive growth, is the fundamental thing in the way we think. All our programs are basically revolving around the poorest of the poor, bottom of the pyramid. So that way the policy clarity is very much there. We don't go by those ghosts.
And finally, on BSNL, many people think that it's a cow that should have been put away. You know, too costly, too much of a white elephant. Why have you made plans to now revive it and pump in, I think, 1.63 lakh crores?
So BSNL is a very important market stabilizing force in the telecom market. Telecom is a very strategic sector. It's a sector which can really affect the country's security in a big way. Almost all the critical defense infrastructure, telecom infrastructure is done by BSNL, first. Second, who's going to go to the poorest of the poor areas, right? The villages of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, the northeastern states, the border areas, who's going to go there? Those are unviable from pure commercial areas. Do we leave those people behind? No, we shouldn't. It's our goal, it's our political philosophy, it's our thought process to make sure that they are all included in the digital journey. The digital divide should be minimized. Who's going to do that? BSNL will be able to do that. Third, when we have these new kind of equipments coming, new experiments, new ideas coming up, we need one large platform which can scale up, which can test all these things. The entire world which developed telecom technology, the few countries which developed telecom technology, they all use their state-run network for testing and developing the technology. Then that technology went abroad, right? We will also be using our PSU as the base for setting up, for testing new technologies. Fourth, despite all the issues, BSNL has a very loyal subscriber base of 10 crore plus subscribers in the country who are very loyal to BSNL. So our philosophy is BSNL must become a vibrant, a solid, a techno-savvy, a company which is a very important market stabilizing force in a highly competitive, highly agile telecom market.